Leo stands in line at the grocery store. He reaches for his phone without deciding to. The movement is automatic. The hand knows what the mind has forgotten. The screen glows. He scrolls for 12 seconds. He cannot recall what he saw. The mechanism has already won. Boredom arrived. Boredom was intercepted. The interception occurred below consciousness. The algorithmic feed does not wait for requests. It anticipates need. It fills emptiness before emptiness is felt. Leo believes he is simply checking. He does not see the architecture. The architecture is invisible. The mechanism is elegant. It requires no force, only the removal of friction between impulse and reward. The brain did not evolve for infinite content. It evolved for scarcity. The feed exploits this mismatch. Dopamine circuitry responds to novelty. The feed provides novelty without end. The circuitry never rests. Leo feels a subtle anxiety when the phone is not present. The anxiety is not named. It is simply avoided. Avoidance has become the primary behavior. The mechanism runs on avoidance of its own absence. Boredom is not painful. Boredom is information. The mechanism treats it as error to be corrected. The correction is instant. The feed is always ready. The readiness feels like care. It is not care. Leo has lost the capacity to wait. Waiting was once neutral. Now, it is negative space. The negative space must be filled. The filling has become automatic. The automatic feels like choice. He chose to scroll. He believes this. The mechanism has hidden its own initiation. The erosion of boredom is not dramatic. It is the accumulation of avoided moments. Thousands. Daily, each avoided moment was a potential. The potential never developed. The mechanism prevented development. Leo is not aware of the prevention. He is aware only of relief. The relief is the mechanism's product. Sarah is 4. She waits in the car. Her mother is talking. The waiting feels long. She looks out the window. She sees a bird. She sees a cloud. She imagines a story. The imagination is not directed. It wanders. The wandering is boredom's gift. The gift is not recognized. Sarah's parents provide a tablet. The waiting is now filled. The filling feels like kindness. The mechanism learns quickly. Discomfort can be removed. Removal feels like solution. The tablet provides predictable reward. The reward is immediate. The brain records this efficiency. Children develop tolerance for delay through experience. The experience is being removed. Sarah no longer waits without stimulation. The waiting is always accompanied. The accompaniment becomes expectation. By 6, she cannot tolerate restaurant delays. She cannot tolerate car rides. She cannot tolerate herself. The mechanism has taught her that emptiness is wrong. Emptiness must be addressed. Addressing is virtue. School reinforces the pattern. Downtime is minimized. Transitions are filled. Attention is managed. The environment rewards constant engagement. The quiet child is suspect. The stimulated child is successful. Sarah learns that boredom is failure. Failure to be interested. Failure to be interesting. The mechanism adapts to digital culture seamlessly. The phone becomes a prosthetic. It completes her. She receives her first device. The algorithm begins learning her. The learning feels like understanding. The feed knows what she wants before she wants it. The knowing is statistical. It feels personal. Sarah's boredom is intercepted earlier each time. The interception becomes earlier. The boredom never fully arrives. The mechanism prevents the experience of prevention. She does not know what she is not experiencing. By 12, Sarah has no memory of true boredom. She has only the avoidance of its approach. The avoidance has become identity. She is someone who is never bored. This is her self-concept. The concept is not false. It is accurate. She is never bored. The mechanism ensures this. But something else is also never present. The something is never named. It is simply gone. The mechanism has completed its early work. Boredom is no longer a feeling. It is a warning signal. The signal is heeded instantly. The feed responds. The response is relief. The relief reinforces.
If this is already making sense to you, it means you're starting to notice patterns most people never see. Subscribe, and let's keep exploring how the mind really works. Now, This is where things start to get uncomfortable.
Leo sits on a park bench. The sun is warm. His mind begins to drift. The drift is natural. Then comes the pull. The hand moves toward the pocket. He does not decide to check. The checking decides. Awareness follows action. The mechanism runs below consciousness now. It has become procedural memory. The brain conserves energy through automation. The feed check is as automatic as breathing. Leo unlocks the screen. He cannot articulate why. The why is buried in the pattern. The feed is already curated. It knows his morning preferences. The knowing feels like intimacy. He scrolls. He does not choose to continue. The continuing is the design. The design is invisible. The mechanism creates a closed loop. Boredom threatens. The threat is detected. The feed responds. The response is not experienced as interruption. It is experienced as rescue. The rescue feels like agents. Leo believes he is managing his attention. He is not. The attention is being managed. The automaticity extends to all gaps. Elevators, red lights, conversational pauses, bathroom visits. Each gap is potential boredom. Each gap is filled. The filling prevents the gap from being felt. The mechanism has installed a permanent buffer. Experience no longer touches raw consciousness. Leo feels tired without knowing why. The tiredness is cognitive. The constant switching consumes. The feed provides novelty without meaning. The novelty satisfies circuitry. The meaning is never formed. He does not notice the absence of meaning. He notices only the presence of stimulation. The mechanism has redefined what presence feels like. Presence is now content. Content is presence. The automatic loop runs 24 hours. It runs in dreams. It runs upon waking. Leo reaches for the phone before his eyes focus. The reaching is not chosen. It is the pattern start. Sarah experiences a quiet moment. The feed is unavailable. She feels something approach. The something is boredom. The boredom feels like threat. The threat triggers the mechanism. The brain maintains the pattern because it offers certainty. Uncertainty is metabolically expensive. Boredom is the experience of uncertainty. The feed removes uncertainty. Removal feels like safety. Sarah does not choose this removal. The mechanism chooses. She experiences only relief. The hidden payoff is control. The feed offers control over inner states. The control is partial. Partial control feels like mastery. The mechanism exploits this feeling. The exploitation is invisible. Sarah maintains the pattern because the alternative is worse. The alternative is emptiness without end. The brain avoids emptiness. Emptiness is evolutionarily dangerous. Dangerous things are avoided. The mechanism offers a bargain. Trade depth for stability. Trade potential for predictability. Most brains accept this bargain. The cost is deferred. The benefit is immediate. Sarah feels anxiety when considering a feed-free day. The anxiety is protective. The protection is the cage. The mechanism defends itself through identity fusion. She is not using a feed. She is someone who streams. The identity is accurate. She is never without input. The input defines her consciousness. If you've noticed this pattern in your own life, describe the moment it became clear. Someone reading may recognize themselves. The maintenance of the mechanism is invisible because it feels like self-care. Sarah is managing her mood. The management is actually dependency. The dependency is not recognized. The recognition is prevented. The brain maintains what rewards. The feed rewards constantly. The constant reward is the trap. Sarah will not stop. The mechanism has convinced her that stopping is punishment. The conviction is total. Leo attends a meditation retreat. Devices are forbidden. The prohibition feels like threat. The first hours are agony. The agony is not boredom. It is withdrawal from the mechanism. He has become someone who requires constant input. The requirement is now identity. The mechanism has solidified into self-concept. Leo is a consumer of content. This is who he is. He does not consume deliberately. He consumes automatically. The automatic feels like nature. Identity formation in digital culture occurs under conditions of perpetual stimulation. previous generations from selves in silence. The silence shaped them. Leo was shaped by noise. The solidification happened gradually. Each avoided moment of emptiness strengthened the pattern. Now, the pattern is the only path. Silence is not neutral. It is negative. It must be filled. Leo leaves the retreat early. He tells himself it was not for him. The mechanism has spoken. He returns to the feed with relief. The relief feels like homecoming. The home is the cage. The identity resists examination. Examination threatens the architecture. The mechanism defends itself. Leo believes he has preferences. He does not see that preferences have been installed. The feed has trained his desires. The training feels like discovery. The discovery is repetition. He is not bored because he is interesting. This is the narrative. The narrative is the mechanism's product. The product is identity. Leo is someone who is never bored. This is his distinction. The distinction is not false. It is accurate. He is never bored. The mechanism ensures this, but the identity has a shadow. The shadow is never seen. The shadow is what boredom could have become. Sarah walks through a museum. The art is famous. She moves quickly from piece to piece. The movement is not deliberate. It is the mechanism. The feed has trained her pacing. She does not linger. Lingering feels wrong. The wrongness is the pattern speaking. The mechanism has shaped perception itself. Depth is no longer available. Only breadth remains. She photographs each piece. She does not look closely. The photograph replaces the looking. The feed has taught her that documentation is experience. The experience is the shareable moment. Sarah perceives the world as content. Content is what can be captured. What cannot be captured is invisible. The mechanism filters reality for extractability. The extraction feels like appreciation. It is not appreciation. She leaves the museum. She remembers the photographs. She does not remember the art. The perception has been displaced. The feed is now the primary experience. The primary is secondary. If you've noticed this pattern in your own life, describe the moment it became clear. Someone reading may recognize themselves. Sarah's attention span has been rewired. The rewiring is not noticed. The noticing requires attention. The mechanism has created a paradox. She cannot perceive the mechanism because the mechanism prevents perception. She believes she is informed. She is exposed to everything. The exposure is not knowledge. The feed provides information without integration. The integration requires boredom. Boredom is prevented. Sarah's world is wide and shallow. The width feels like richness. The shallowness is never felt. The filtered reality feels complete. It is actually thin, a single dimension endlessly reflected. Leo reads about attention erosion. He recognizes himself. The recognition arrives as sadness. Awareness does not restore capacity. It reveals the loss. This is the shift. He notices his hand reaching. He notices before the reach completes. The gap appears. The gap is small. It is enough. For the first time, he sees the automation as automation. He attempts to wait. The waiting is uncomfortable. The discomfort is the mechanism protesting. Awareness shows him the protest. He observes his own intolerance of emptiness. The observation is new. He does not overcome the pattern. He enters relationship with it. This is what changes. Leo sits with boredom. The boredom is not interesting. It is not productive. It is simply present. The presence feels like failure. The feeling is the mechanism. He watches the feeling. The watching does not stop the feeling. It changes the position relative to the feeling. He is not the one who waits. He is the one who watches the one who cannot wait. The recursion is dizzying. It is also accurate. The mechanism runs. The witness observes. Leo does not find his lost attention span. He finds the architecture of its loss. The architecture is not reversible. It is visible. Visibility is not recovery. It is recognition. He continues to reach for the phone. The reaching is slower now, or it is not. He sees it either way. This is what awareness changes, not the behavior. The relationship to the behavior. The feed still calls. The call is heard differently. The difference is subtle. It is real. Sarah learns about the mechanism. She feels the learning. She posts about the learning. The posting is automatic. The automatic is the pattern. The pattern absorbs awareness. She attempts a digital Sabbath. She announces the attempt. The announcement is the loop. The mechanism has incorporated resistance. Nothing is outside. Everything feeds. Sarah returns to the feed. It feels different now, or it does not. She cannot tell. The quiet loop continues. Awareness has changed nothing fundamental. It has changed the experience. She knows she is looping. The knowing is part of the loop. The recursion does not resolve. The mechanism runs on multiple levels: surface and depth, conscious and automatic. She can address the surface. The depth continues. The loop persists in silence. Sarah feels boredom sometimes now. The feeling is brief. The briefness is the mechanism. She notices the briefness. She notices herself noticing. The noticing is also brief. The loop has no outside. Every exit becomes entrance. Every critique becomes content. She lives with the knowledge that she cannot escape. The knowledge becomes part of the cage. The quiet loop is not broken. It is illuminated. The illumination is dim. It is enough. Leo stands in actual silence. No device, no book, no task, just presence. The presence is uncomfortable. The discomfort is information. The information is unwelcome. He confronts what remains when the feed is removed. The remainder is not peace. It is emptiness. The mirror shows the mechanism's product. A mind that cannot rest in itself. A self that requires input. Leo sees someone who has forgotten how to be alone. The forgetting is not dramatic. It is gradual. The gradual became total. The total became invisible. The invisible became normal. He does not find a deeper self beneath the consumption. He finds only hunger. The hunger is the mechanism. The mechanism has replaced being with having. Having content. Having stimulation. Having distraction. Leo sits with the hunger. The sitting is not noble. It is simply what remains. The final mirror offers no redemption. It offers accurate reflection. The reflection is the architecture. He is not a victim of technology. He is a product of efficiency. The efficiency is not his fault. The mechanism has built what he calls me. The building continues. The builder is the built. He will continue to reach. He will continue to scroll. He will continue to avoid the void. But now he knows. The knowing does not free him. It locates him precisely. It maps his cage. The final mirror shows no escape. It shows the construction clearly. The construction is the self. The mechanism continues in you now. As you read, as you consider the next video, it calculates the value of continuation. It imagines how completion will position you. This is not failure. This is the machinery speaking through your nervous system. The question is not how to stop it. The question is whether you can see it operating. Seeing does not end the pattern. It changes your position relative to the pattern. You become the observer and the observed simultaneously. The split does not heal. It becomes conscious. PsyHow does not offer solutions. Solutions are another distraction, another loop, another feed. We offer observation, precise, unsettling, without comfort or conclusion. The machinery runs. It runs in silence. It runs in you. Notice it, or do not. The mechanism does not care. It runs regardless. But if you have seen yourself in these words, the seeing is yours. It is not shareable. The capacity for boredom exists. It is atrophied. It is waiting. It is enough.